The Fatal Note is a Little King cartoon from 1933. This is directed by Vernon Stallings, based on the comic strip by Soglow. And I rather like this. There is some gorgeous animation in this. Look out for the staircase. I absolutely loved the staircase. The animation took me a couple of minutes to kind of enjoy, to get used to, but I feel like the more the cartoon went on, the more beautiful it was. And the narrative is definitely really fascinating. This evil character, who is gorgeously animated, a lot of angular features and really jagged clothing and things, decides to plant a bomb on the piano. So when the king plays the piano, the bomb will, in theory, go off. Whether or not that happens, I'm not going to say. The narrative itself is okay. It's definitely an interesting enough story. Everything flowed well. The pacing was pretty good. And there were some pretty great moments. And I'll discuss some personal highlights with a spoiler warning in a moment. So the narrative was fine, but for me the selling point was definitely the visuals, the animation. After a couple of minutes I really started to love it, and the more that went on, the more I seemed to enjoy it. So story good, animation gorgeous, the pacing was absolutely fine, the characters are quite fascinating, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like the villain was more in focus than the king. I don't feel like I really got a good sense of the king's personality here compared to other characters, but there are a good handful of Little King cartoons, so hopefully that's something that will happen over time. But certainly what we did see of the king and what of him we got to know, I thought was okay, and I am looking forward to exploring more Little King cartoons. If they're anything like this one, I think they're going to be really good fun, and the animation is just an absolute joy. This is my first Little King cartoon, and it's not a bad start. Definitely a pretty decent start. Really looking forward to watching some more and seeing what they're like. Hopefully, if they're anything like this, they'll be pretty decent. And of course, I'm very happy to recommend this. So I'll now mention a couple of personal highlights. So these are, of course, spoilers. And one I've already mentioned is the staircase, but I absolutely loved it when we were running up the stairs and sliding down the stairs. Just absolutely stunning. And the other one I really liked, because I genuinely didn't know what was going to happen, is when the king hides inside one of the suits of armour, and the villain is thwacking the suits of armour one by one, and then he gets to the king's, and, well, I know I said spoilers, but I won't say exactly what happens, but I found that to be rather fun. So definitely a lot of really good moments in this, a pretty good narrative and gorgeous animation. Needless to say, I'm rather happy. I thought The Fatal Note was, for me, a really enjoyable introduction to the Little King. Definitely recommend it, and I'm looking forward to watching more.